Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakarkadash. Double honors to the elders who preach his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. I say shalom to you, Akim, out there. Salakia. And this is a recent news article from News 360 and published by Daniel Stewart 10 hours ago. And it reads, Iran warns of retaliation against sanctions imposed by Europe. Iranian Foreign Minister spokesperson Nasser Kanani has strongly condemned the EU and the UK sanctions, warning that the countries reserve the right to recuperate such failed policies. And I'll go to the next another article. And this is another recent article. I guess I couldn't finish that other news article all the way because I had to download the app. So that's why I just focus on the second news article. And the second news article, this is from Reuters and the Jerusalem Post and published on January 24th, 2023. And it reads, U.S. sanctions Lebanon money exchange for alleged ties to Hezbollah. And it says the U.S. Treasury said on Tuesday it was placing sanctions on Lebanese money exchanger Hassan Makal and his business for alleged finance ties to the blacklist group Hezbollah. The Treasury said his business, CTEX, was licensed by Lebanon Central Bank. And it says neither Makal nor the central bank, and keep this in mind, it was already enough all through last year. Lebanon was going through an economic crisis, a bank institution crisis. Now the United States is going to use sanctions on them because they supposedly had economic ties with Hezbollah with their central banks. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. It's already enough, Lebanon's going through economic woes, I just want to add a note to that. It says the Treasury said his business, Tech, was licensed by Lebanon Central Bank. Neither Makal nor the central bank immediately responds to Reuters for the request for comment. This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 7. Mark 13:7. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must need be, but the end shall not be yet. Right. I think with the retaliation from Iran, they might use they might reverse on the EU and the UK and the United States. They're going to hit them with economic sanctions. Just like China did not too long ago during last year. They got harshly hit with economic sanctions. Russia as well too. And these nations are going to turn on modern day Babylon. The nations are going to turn on the the mother of Babylon and the daughter of Babylon as well too. Because nations like Iran, Russia, China, once they, North Korea as well too, and all these other many nations that they put all these harsh economic sanctions on them, hey, they gonna reverse the script, reverse the roles, and put economic sanctions on them. Because these nations are not afraid of the daughter of Babylon no more, or the mother of Babylon, modern day, spiritually. Or Salakia for that. Yeah, so they not gonna like Isaiah 14:12, I believe. Right, because the Heavenly Father is gonna stir up the modern day Medes, and it can potentially lead to war rhetoric as well too. No, that's the wrong scripture, Salakia. I will think this might be. Yep, this is the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 13:7. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which they shall not regard silver and for gold, and they shall not delight in it, right? Because those harsh economic sanctions, they not going to delight in that. They're going to retaliate against you, mother of Babylon and the daughter of Babylon, modern day spiritually. You hit these nations with these hard economic sanctions, hey, they're gonna come right back on you as well too. EU, UK, United States, these nations of Iran, Hezbollah, Russia, China, North Korea, hey, they're gonna hit you back with economic sanctions as well too, and a lot of times, these countries that hit these other countries with economic sanctions, and a lot of times that not be 100% true, because you're gonna hear like rumors of news might not be 100% true. Then there's times where it's gonna be 100% true. So these economic sanctions you putting on these nations, they're gonna retaliate towards you, and it's gonna be hit you back with more economic sanctions and more harshness as well too. And you're gonna get hit with war ready rhetoric words from these nations. The nations are the like of the nations and organization groups as well too. The Iran, Hezbollah, and many other nations you put all these harsh economic sanctions on. You think they're not going to retaliate from that? They're going to put harsh economic sanctions back on you, EU, UK, and United States. Daughter of Babylon, the mother of Babylon, they're going to put harsh economic sanctions on y'all as well too. And they're going to use that warlike rhetoric as well too. That's just going to stir tensions even more and more. I believe I read another article was saying that I don't know, it was coming from the Israeli side, saying that a nuclear deal, a revival of the 2015 nuclear deal is impossible and highly unlikely due to the economic sanctions that the United States put on Iran, due to the economic sanctions the EU and the UK put on Iran, and military organization groups of Hezbollah as well too, and many other nations as well too. Like the Chinas, the Russians, North Korea, and many other nations you put economic sanctions on as well too. And it's gonna come right back on you as well too. Isaiah 13:7. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Right, they shall not delight in it. These are economic sanctions, the gold and the silver, the modern day money of harsh economic sanctions that the importing and the exporting of oil and goods. For a prime example, they're not gonna delight in that. That's why the Heavenly Father is gonna stir up the Medes, the modern day Medes, against the daughter of Babylon and the mother of Babylon as well too, spiritually. And this is Matthew 24, verse 6. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, and that's what we're hearing, either it's from economic sanctions, rhetoric of war, words between the different nations, the hostility they have towards one another, and that's what we're seeing. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, because these things are going to continue to increase and heat up of these wars and rumors of wars. These economic wars between these different nations. They use the harsh economic sanctions. These are warlike ready type words they use towards one another. So these things are heating up, because we already know Iran and Israel don't get along with each other. Iran and the United States don't get along with each other. The EU and the UK doesn't get along with Iran. And I believe not too long ago, I believe Britain was going to potentially label the Iranian Revolutionary Guard troops as a bad organization group. And many other countries are going to follow the lead as well too. I forgot the other country's name, but I did an article about a week or two ago on that, So that's rhetoric of words of wars and rumors of wars between the different nations and different kingdoms. Those just prime examples of that, Either you labeling groups as a bad organization group or a bad nation, hitting them with economic sanctions. That's a type of sense of war right there. You use economic sanctions. That's a type of war right there. That can spur something into a potential war and conflict, and hostility towards one another, and that's what we're seeing. The wars, rumors of wars of these nations and different kingdoms are heating up, And then verse 7, Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Right, nation rising against nations, and kingdom against kingdoms. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Yep. So we're definitely seeing the rise increases of nations rising up against one another. And these economic sanctions that the EU and the UK and the United States using on these nations is going to turn right back on them. They're going to get hit with harsh economic sanctions as well too. As I read this right here, it says Iran warns of retaliation against sanctions imposed by Europe. And one of those economic sanctions was about what happened during those protests throughout September of last year into this year as well too. That's why they're using that hard economic sanctions on them, and it could be for other reasons as well too. As I'm gonna read it again, Iran warns of retaliation against sanctions imposed by Europe. And this other one right here too about the Lebanon situation. As U.S. sanctions Lebanese money exchanger for alleged ties to Hezbollah. As I mentioned before, it's already enough. The Lebanese people are going through a economic central bank crisis, as it is, like it happened in the year 2022 when they had those protests of people was trying to get their monies out of their banks. So it's already enough they going through economic woes. Now you're gonna put more hard sanctions on them or on their representation of their leaders in that country, you know. So Lebanon is gonna hit the United States for same economic sanctions as well too. You know. So with that, hopefully this sit down lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Wakarkadash. Double on preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered to the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And until next time, I will say shalom.